The dream of golden years, often painted with images of serene retirement and peaceful days, can crumble into a starkly different reality when the decision to move into a nursing home unfolds in ways one never anticipated. The initial allure round-the-clock care, community, and freedom from daily burdens soon reveals layers of complexity, each peeling back to expose truths far removed from the idyllic vision. What begins as a pragmatic solution for safety and convenience unravels into a tapestry of emotional and psychological struggles, each thread a reminder of what once was and what could have been. The journey into this chapter of life is not merely a change of address, but a profound transformation of identity, autonomy, and connection, leaving many to grapple with a haunting question: was this the only way? The concept of independence, so deeply ingrained in the human spirit, becomes a ghost in the corridors of a nursing home. It lingers in the quiet moments when the clock dictates the rhythm of the day: meals at 7, 12, and 5, medication dispensed with clinical precision, lights out by 9. The loss is not just about the ability to cook a meal or tend a garden, but the erosion of self-determination. Imagine waking to the smell of coffee brewing in your own kitchen, the ritual of grinding beans, the steam rising as you pour a simple pleasure now replaced with a tray of lukewarm liquid, indistinguishable from yesterday's. The schedules here are designed for efficiency, not individuality. A resident's request for a late-night snack or an afternoon nap might be met with a sympathetic smile, but is often lost in the machinery of institutional routine. The psychological toll is profound. Studies on elderly mental health reveal that autonomy is a cornerstone of well-being, linked to lower rates of depression and cognitive decline. Yet, in environments where choice is minimized, residents often experience a form of learned helplessness. One might recall the vibrant mornings spent volunteering at the local library, the spontaneity of a midday walk, or the freedom to skip lunch altogether for a good book. These moments, once trivial, now feel like relics of a past life. The nursing home's calendar, filled with bingo, chair yoga, and sing-alongs, offers structure, but lacks the texture of personal passion. A painter finds brushes replaced by puzzles. A writer's thoughts go unheard in a room where conversations revolve around ailments and appointments. The indignity of dependence creeps in subtly. A once proud teacher now waits for assistants to use the restroom. A former engineer who once designed bridges struggles to adjust the thermostat. The staff, though well-meaning, often rush through tasks, their schedules overpacked, leaving little room for patience. The clash between institutional efficiency and human need becomes a daily battle. In one poignant memory, a resident recounts sneaking into the communal kitchen to toast a slice of bread, only to be gently scolded for breaking protocol. The toast, cold and confiscated, symbolized more than a snack. It was a rebellion against the slow erasure of self. Loneliness in a nursing home is a paradox. Surrounded by people, yet isolated in plain sight. The dining hall buzzes with chatter, but the dialogues are fragments, discussions of medications, aches, and the weather. Conversations rarely delve into the rich tapestries of lives once lived. The woman who backpacked through Europe in the 60s, the man who raised orchids, the teacher who inspired generations. Cognitive declines and hearing impairments turn exchanges into repetitions, leaving silences heavy with unspoken stories. The architecture of such spaces often exacerbates this isolation. Long, sterile hallways and fluorescent lighting replace the warmth of a living room filled with family photos and worn armchairs. Private rooms, when available, are small, their walls thin enough to hear a neighbor's television or the midnight cries of someone lost in confusion. Shared spaces, designed for socialization, often feel impersonal: plastic plants, generic art, and chairs arranged in rigid circles. Attempts to connect can feel futile. A resident might extend a hand during a group activity, only to be met with vacant stares or diverted attention. The longing for deep connection turns inward, breeding resignation. Technology, touted as a lifeline, becomes a double-edged sword. Video calls with family are fleeting, their brevity a reminder of physical absence. Grandchildren's faces pixelate on screens, their voices echoing through speakers, while the ache to hold them lingers. Social media glimpses of family gatherings, birthdays, holidays, Sunday dinners amplify the chasm between here and there. Yet, the same technology offers a cruel hope. A granddaughter's promise to visit, delayed by work. A son's well-intentioned vow to call daily, soon reduced to weekly check-ins. The digital world underscores the isolation it aims to bridge. Financial strain weaves through every aspect of nursing home life, a shadow that darkens even small joys. The average cost of a semi-private room in the US hovers around $7,000 monthly, a figure that devours pensions, savings, and inheritances. For many, the decision to move is less a choice than a surrender to circumstance. A lifetime of frugality, coupons clipped, vacations foregone, dreams deferred culminates in a monthly invoice that feels like a ransom. The guilt is corrosive. A father who once paid college tuition now agonizes over draining his children's inheritance. A widow wonders if her husband's life insurance was meant for this fluorescent hallways and generic pureed meals. The opaque pricing structures add to the distress. Additional fees for laundry, hygiene products, or specialized care materialize without warning. Families scramble to navigate Medicaid loopholes, sell homes, or liquidate assets, often under the crushing weight of urgency. The emotional cost is seldom discussed. A daughter, power of attorney in hand, lies awake questioning her choices. Is this facility good enough? Could we have managed at home? Her mother, sensing the burden, withdraws, masking pain with stoicism. The unspoken truth that love and finance are entangled in impossible knots hangs heavy. Even in upscale facilities, where chandeliers glint and brochures promise luxury living, the reality can disappoint. Gourmet meals become monotonous cycles of chicken and steamed vegetables. Spa days are rushed massages in a crowded lounge. The disparity between marketing and reality fuels resentment. Residents whisper in the halls, comparing costs and services, their pride eroded by the sense of being commodities in a profit-driven system. Meals, once a cornerstone of culture and comfort, morph into a daily reckoning with loss. The dining hall, with its clattering trays and sanitized odors, is a far cry from the family kitchen where recipes were passed down through generations. A dish like lasagna layered with homemade sauce, slow-cooked meat, and hand-rolled pasta is reduced to a microwaved rectangle of rubbery noodles and bland tomato paste. The absence of seasoning is not just culinary but existential. For a Japanese immigrant, the lack of miso soup or pickled vegetables erases a connection to heritage. A southern grandmother longs for the tang of collard greens simmered with ham hock, now replaced by salt-free canned spinach. Nutritional guidelines, though well-intentioned, prioritize safety over soul. Pureed diets, thickened liquids, and allergen-free menus ensure physical health, but starve the spirit. The act of eating, once a communal joy, becomes a clinical routine. Residents push food around plates, their appetites waning with each bland bite. The loss of culinary autonomy is a silent grief, one that families seldom grasp until they witness a loved one's eyes glaze over at the sight of another unseasoned chicken breast. Privacy, a fundamental human need, dissolves in the shared existence of institutional living. The knock on the door, a well-meaning aide arriving to assist with bathing, is a daily intrusion. Showers, once a private refuge for reflection, become supervised tasks, modesty sacrificed for safety. The presence of roommates amplifies this vulnerability. A nocturnal cough, a blaring television, or a roommate's emotional breakdown fractures the sanctity of personal space. Even in solitude, the awareness of being monitored through call buttons, cameras, or bed alarms casts a pervasive unease. The erosion of dignity extends to medical care. Discussions of bowel movements or bed sores occur in earshot of passers-by. Adult diapers, catheters, and wound dressings strip away layers of pride. A woman who once led board meetings now endures being turned in bed like a child. A man who commanded respect in his career is reduced to a chart of vital signs. The staff, though trained in clinical care, often lack the time or training to nurture the emotional resilience required to preserve dignity amidst dependency. The most crushing realization is the sense of entrapment. The decision to enter a nursing home, often framed as "for your own good," becomes a life sentence with no parole. Physical decline, a fractured hip, advancing dementia closes the door to alternatives. Financial exhaustion leaves no funds for in-home care. Families once eager to help grow accustomed to the status quo, their lives recalibrated around visits and phone calls. The nursing home, initially a temporary solution, solidifies into a permanent reality. The longing for home manifests in subtle rebellions, a resident hiding street clothes in a closet, just in case, another hoarding brochures for assisted living facilities. Yet the logistics of leaving coordinating care, retrofitting homes, confronting familial resistance feel insurmountable. Hope flickers with each news story about aging-in-place innovations, but for many, it's too late. The system, designed to protect, becomes a gilded cage. Asterisk in retrospect, alternatives whisper like ghosts. What if home care had been viable? A part-time aide helping with baths and meals, allowing the garden to bloom and the kitchen to smell of rosemary and garlic. What if intergenerational living had been considered a granddaughter's spare room, shared meals, and babysitting exchanged for companionship? The rise of co-housing communities for seniors, where autonomy and support coexist, taunts with its promise. Yet, these options are often obscured by societal narratives that equate nursing homes with safety and expertise. Families, overwhelmed and guilt-ridden, gravitate toward the path of least resistance. The elder, fearing burden, acquiesces. The result is a collective mourning for roads not taken. Asterisk aging, inevitable and unyielding, demands a reckoning with vulnerability, but it need not demand surrender. The lesson here is not to vilify nursing homes, but to illuminate the nuances of choice. For some, they are a necessary haven. For others, a well of regret. The key lies in dialogue, asking harder questions, demanding transparency, and prioritizing emotional needs alongside physical ones. It requires families to confront uncomfortable truths about capacity, cost, and the value of autonomy. For those standing at this crossroads, let the regrets of others be a guide. Visit facilities unannounced, taste the food, observe the staff. Explore alternatives with creativity and courage. And above all, listen not just to doctors and brochures, but to the quiet voice within that knows the difference between living and existing. The golden years deserve nothing less.